Hello, hello. Hope you're having an amazing day today. And we are going to just dive right into our topic around men. It is okay to have needs in your intimate relationship. Quite a few discussions I've been having with clients lately, with what I've been seeing from men lately, have been around just the frustration, the sadness that they're experiencing in their intimate relationships where they feel like, they're showing up, they're doing the work, they're meeting the needs of their partner, and yet they're not feeling like their needs are being met. And I think that there's a lot of, rhetoric out there in the world these days of like, just continue, continue to do your work and not pay attention to your woman, and potentially things can turn around. And I think that there is a place where that's just not going to work. And we're going to dive into this more today and talk about this because there is a place where, as men, we need to take a stand for the relationship. We need to lead the relationship in ways that potentially our partner can't in the given moment. So the first piece that I want to talk to is that, what you're probably seeing out in the world is a shift in terms of attachment styles. You could look at the sort of previous generations, 50s, 60s, in those years, where there's that sort of old story of like the woman being attached to the man. The man goes to work, the woman stays at home, the woman is waiting for the man, the woman is in her feminine. And these days, we're starting to see a shift in terms of that attachment model, where now women are working, women have careers, they're earning their own money, they have to raise children, they have to run a family. And so those models of attachment are changing, where often what we're seeing is that the man is desiring to be in connection with his partner and is craving more, and not in all cases, but in some cases, the feminine is craving less, or maybe they're not even attuned to what they want. Like, you could almost imagine it's like the feminine is becoming a bit like the masculine, and we're talking about like the alpha masculine, where it's like they don't even know their needs, they're not even attuned to what's happening for them anymore. So there's often that disconnect where the man is wanting connection, and it's not that the woman isn't, but she's feeling like there's too much of a desire for connection or intimacy. She just wants to be left alone. So we want to be present to that. We want to be present to that as we're out there looking for partners, and also as, for us that are in relationships, that these are the dynamics that are at play now. And, with that, the first piece that I want to just touch on is that, a place to check for yourself is, are you actually clearly communicating the needs that you have as the masculine? Because in the heat of the moment, when we're frustrated, it's likely that we're not actually communicating what we want. We're probably being esoteric, we're being vague, and we're leaving our partners in a place where they're like, well, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what you want. So, what's the point of even trying? And then that resentment builds up over the years. So it is your responsibility as the masculine leader to communicate clearly and actually give tangible direction to your partner in terms of what it is that you're looking for. So that does lead into the second point then of, okay, so what if I do that and then it's not being received? Potentially my partner is blaming me, they're criticizing me, they're talking about all the ways that I don't meet their needs, there's resentment there. So one of the things that I've been saying to my clients as of late is like, so recognize that all those things are going to have to be spoken to and worked with, but when you as the masculine are actually communicating your needs, there is a point where it's like that conversation needs to stop. That the blaming, the resentment, the criticism of you, it does not matter in this conversation about your needs. So we have to be able to separate, the conversation about what needs to be fixed in the relationship or why they're not meeting your needs to, hey, I'm actually going to be speaking to my needs in this conversation. So a way that you can practice that is, first of all, listen, hear what your partner's saying, and then actually create a stand. You know, hey, I absolutely hear you. I want to deal with these things that you're speaking to, and you know, I want to listen to how I can show up better. But for today, I actually want to have a conversation about my needs. And I want to be able to express where I'm feeling unloved, where I'm not feeling cared for, where I'm feeling disconnected. And these are some things that I could really, you know, use from you, or would really love if you would bring into our relationship. Again, so that opens up a pathway for your stand. You're standing for your needs. Now, if that's responded to again with more resentment, more frustration, more anger, well, there's some deeper work to be done there, because what that says is that your partner and you do not have an effective communication style to actually meet your needs in this moment. Or let me even say that in a different way. The communication style is not built to actually have forward movement in the relationship. It always gets stopped by these things like the criticism, the resentment, the guilt, etc. So yeah, like that's something that, you know, again, and how we can address that if the conversation is not going the way you want, and you've spoken to, you know, that this conversation is about your needs and it's still not being listened to, well, that's the real opportunity to look at, like, there is an impact to how your partner is being in relationship. All this resentment, all the guilt, all these things can be discussed, but ultimately your partner is not serving the relationship, the partnership between the two of you. So again, place to check for yourself. Are you actually serving the relationship when she voices her needs to you? But we can also stand for that our partner meets us there too. And then, yeah, and that really leads to my last point of the video, of that this is not just your responsibility as the man to create the relationship. It is both parties. And we really have to be willing to stand for our needs, stand for the relationship. Because ultimately, if you are hiding, if you have resentment, and you're not actually clearly communicating what you need in the relationship, and then the relationship has a downfall, or the relationship just doesn't work, that's on you. But there is that responsibility for both people in the relationship to really create the relationship. It's not, one person is not going to be able to create the relationship that you want, or that she wants. So again, some conversations to be had in terms of like, hey, how do we actually create a relationship that flourishes together? And is that something that you want? You know, and not just settling for status quo or surface level things, but actually like, hey, what do we need to do to be able to create a relationship where both of our needs are getting fulfilled? So yeah, I'm going to leave you with that for today. Let me know if you have any questions. You know, let me know if there's anything that comes up for you on this video, and look forward to continuing the conversation. Have a great rest of your day.